They were all laughing. Applause was ringing, but an 11-year-old girl, dressed in a fancy dress, stood silently on the other side of the glass wall, as if she were not part of the event, but a forgotten shadow. If you believe that no child deserves to be ignored, then you must listen to this story until the end. The sounds of laughter echoed off the glass walls. A magnificent birthday party was underway on the top floor of an expensive New York hotel. White and gold balloons hung from the ceiling, chandeliers scattered light on the floor, and sparkling glasses in the hands of the guests announced the celebration. Everything seemed complete, like a scene from a movie. But in the same crowd, an 11-year-old girl stood silently near the glass wall, as if she were not part of this world. Emily Carter was wearing a light pink frock that had been specially tailored for her height. Her golden hair was elegantly, her shoulders were hunched over, but her blue eyes didn't have the sparkle that children usually have on birthdays. She was watching the celebration, but she wasn't part of it. No one was talking to her, no one was looking at her. It was as if she were a doll behind glass. She couldn't speak. This reality had been with her for 3 years, but today it seemed heavier than ever. 3 years ago there had been a terrible accident. A moment, a crash, a scream, and then everything changed. After that, the doctors had told her that her voice would never return. She could hear, she could understand, she could feel, but the words would get stuck in her throat. People were sympathetic at first, but over time that sympathy turned to silence. And silence is often ignored. Her father, Richard Carter, was the host of the party. A powerful businessman, his name was mentioned in the big deals of the city. He walked among the guests, smiling, taking pictures, was telling stories of his success. His eyes repeatedly went to the stage, the cake, and the guests, but not to his daughter standing by the glass wall. Emily saw her, always saw her, and every time a hope woke up in some corner of his heart that maybe he would turn around and look, maybe look into her eyes, maybe come and sit next to her. But today, too, it didn't happen. At that moment, a woman stood near the hotel kitchen who had seen it all. Her name was Sarah Louise. She was part of the catering staff, plain clothes, tired eyes, but a strange tenderness in her heart. She was a mother herself, and her son couldn't even speak. Time stopped as he saw Emily standing by the glass. He remembered his son, the same silent waiting, the same pain of being ignored. Sarah stopped working and slowly walked towards the mirror. She stopped right in front of Emily, smiled, and gently waved her hand. Emily was startled. Someone was smiling at her. Sarah asked in sign language if she could stand here. Emily nodded. A strange conversation began in the silence. Sarah asked in sign language why she was alone. Emily took out a small notebook from her bag and wrote that because she was not capable of noise. Sarah's heart broke upon reading this sentence. She gently held Emily's hand, as if to say that you were absolutely capable. A few moments later, Sarah made a decision that no one expected. She went inside, spoke to the DJ, and turned off the music. The hall suddenly fell silent. People were startled, looking at each other. Then words appeared on the big screen, written in white light. Silence also deserves a celebration. Sarah looked at Emily and gestured for her to come in. Emily's steps were trembling, but she came in. For the first time, she was not behind glass, but among people. There was no music, but applause, clapping hands. The sound she could hear, and which did not frighten her. The cake was brought before her. The candles were burning. People were smiling. There were tears in Emily's eyes, but these tears were not of pain. They were of joy. She looked at her father with her eyes. Richard Carter stood still for the first time. The smile had disappeared from his face. There was feeling in his eyes, perhaps regret. That he moved forward, passing through the people, got on his knees in front of his daughter. He took out his phone, typed on the screen, and showed Emily. "Forgive me." Emily did not write anything. She just hugged him and rested her head on his shoulder. The silence was louder than words. After that day, everything did not change at once, but it began to change. Richard began to learn sign language. She dedicated one day a week just to Emily. Sarah got a permanent job and there was hope for her son. Emily still couldn't speak, but she was no longer considered silent. Because it wasn't about the sound at it was about whether or not someone was watching you. If you've ever felt ignored, or seen someone with silent eyes alone, remember, one small step, one look, one question, can change a whole life. And maybe today, on the other side of another glass, another child is standing. If you've ever felt ignored, or seen someone breaking into silence, backhand index pointing down, comment, thumbs up, like the video, bell, subscribe to kindness. Narratives are because every child wants to be seen, waiting to be seen.